Hey everybody, welcome to another installment of Brad Cooks Stuff. So, this week's dish came to me while I was half asleep. I'm not kidding, I was half asleep the other day and it came into my head almost fully formed, and I really just needed to make one small modification once I was awake enough to realize what I had. So, I mean, it sounded good to me. I think I can make it work. So, rather than telling you what I'm making, we're just going to show you as I make it, and then in the end you can see what came to me, kind of like it came to me while I was half asleep. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this week's ingredients and see what we're working with.
All right, here are our ingredients for the week. We've got some medium-sized potatoes, 1 red pepper, some mascarpone cheese, a little bit of ground beef, and finally, some instant gravy mix that I bought from America that I've had for long enough that I had to kind of repulverize it. So that's what that is in that little container there. I just left the package out so I could show you. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to work on the topping. So the first thing I want to do is take about half of this au jus gravy mix and mix it with some hot water. I added 3 tablespoons of hot water to this, and I think that'll be fine. We're going to go ahead and mix it in with that entire container of mascarpone cheese. That is mixed mascarpone cheese with au jus gravy. We're going to put it into the fridge for the time being. Next, we're going to fry this beef in a pan. And with my ground beef fried up, we're going to pat it dry, and then we're going to mix it in to that gravy mascarpone cheese mix. It may not look particularly appetizing, but this is mascarpone cheese with au jus gravy mix and fried ground beef. Again, we're going to set this aside, and now we're going to work on those potatoes. I've taken 2 potatoes, washed them, and poked 6 holes in each one with a toothpick. I'm going to go ahead and microwave them. Now, while those potatoes are cooking, I cut half of this red pepper, and we're going to slice it up into very small pieces. All right, that's a nice little bit of chopped up red pepper. We're going to set that aside in the fridge. After about 10 minutes, I poked the crap out of these things with a toothpick, and they're nice and soft. So I think these are done. We're going to set these aside, and we're going to heat up some of our mix. I microwaved some of our topping for 30 seconds. And then I cut both of our potatoes in half. Let's go ahead and add our topping to our potatoes. Looks pretty good so far. Let's add a little bit of color. After adding the chopped red pepper, I think that looks a little better, but I still think it needs a little more color. So let's put in some parsley flakes. Now I think we're ready to eat. Let's try these out.
All right, moment of truth. I have here some microwave baked potatoes topped with a mixture of mascarpone cheese, au jus instant gravy mix, and ground beef, and garnished with some chopped red pepper and some parsley flakes. I mean, they look pretty good, I think. Smell pretty good. All right. Let's give them a try and see how they taste. We got a nice bite here. There we go. All right. There we go. Take a look at that. All right. See how it tastes. Oh yeah, those are very flavorful. I like that. Let's get another bite. There we go. There we go. Get a nice piece here. So it turns out that 10 minutes at 500 watts on the microwave is just about perfect for this size of potato. And on top, you've got that creamy mascarpone cheese mixed with the au jus gravy mix and some ground beef, which changes the flavor and give it a nice beefy, creamy taste on top of that baked potato. The red pepper doesn't change the flavor much, but it does give a little bit of a crunch. Plus, it makes it look nice. And presentation is important, as I've learned. Anyway, I think I'm going to need one more big bite before we finish up here. So despite the number of little things I had to do in order to get to these baked potatoes, they weren't actually that hard to make. I mean, nothing I did was difficult, and the end result was pretty simple. The ingredients were easy to get, and in the end, I'm pretty pleased with the result. I can definitely call this a success, especially for something I came up with while I was half asleep, right? Now, if you don't want to use mascarpone cheese, cream cheese would probably be a perfectly acceptable substitute. And as for the instant gravy, any kind of gravy would work, or if you don't have that, use some bouillon. Just make sure you powder it first. As for the ground beef, you could go a little calorie light by going with some chicken or turkey. That would also be perfectly acceptable. As for the toppings, use whatever you like. I just wanted to put something on there that would add some color. Anyway, as always, I appreciate you guys stopping in. I will see you in the next video.